Hello, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a little reading for you on the topic of finding love. So this could mean meeting someone new, this could mean starting a loving relationship with someone you already know, or this could mean just bringing more love into the relationship that you already have. So I hope that this reading gives you a little something to chew on and maybe just lifts your spirits. Alright, finding love. So the first card we've got is property. So I get the sense right now that you're in the point in your life where you're maybe sort of taking stock of what you possess. And I think that maybe right now you're really focused on the really literal material aspect of your property. So maybe you're thinking about the job, the money, the house, the car, and that sort of thing about attracting a mate and like being able to provide for a long-term partner. But I get the sense that what this card is really telling you is that you need to be taking stock about these other traits that you have that make you appealing, and it's like pleasurable to be in a relationship with you. So I think that maybe this is really talking about some of these emotional skills of being like a fun person to be around and really like having a healthy relationship with other people. And then also maybe like certain skills or qualities that you have that are unique to you. So maybe like focusing on building a hobby or building a creative practice or something that could just be unique and appealing to a romantic partner, because I get the sense that the person that you're looking to meet is actually not so interested in these material qualities of wealth and that sort of thing, even though maybe you've been taught to think that that's what they're looking for. Right, the next card, rock. Okay, so I get the sense that this person is going to be very stable and the relationship is going to be very stable for you, and they're really going to be there for you in that steady, unchanging way. And not so much in the sense that they're going to be a really like stone-faced, kind of cold stone person, like I think that they will still have their emotional ups and downs and that they can be like soft and playful at times. But I get the sense when it comes to your relationship, they're going to be rock steady. And when you come to them with a problem and you need comfort, I think they're really going to be your rock. And I think that you're going to do the same thing for them as well. It's definitely a two-sided relationship where you're both supporting each other. Alien. So I get the sense that this person is going to introduce things into your life that are completely new to you. So I get the sense that through your loving relationship, it's going to just bring out things in yourself that you didn't recognize, or they're going to exhibit traits that are completely foreign to you, and just ways of thinking that totally shake up your sort of established conventional beliefs. So I think that when you're looking to meet this person, or when you're looking at the qualities in this person that you already know, I think it's really important to consider the differences between you, and not necessarily just thinking about like annihilating these differences and trying to make them the same as you, but like really appreciating the fact that they are different from you and what these differences can teach you both. All right, maybe let's talk a little bit about how it's going to be when you meet this person or meet up with this person if you already know them. Mirror. So I get the sense that when you sit down to talk to this person, you're really learning so much about yourself and you're really seeing yourself in them. And maybe this could mean there's certain physical similarities you have, maybe in the sense of the facial expressions that you make or just the way that you express yourself, that they just have this very similar like way of expressing themselves to you. And I think that you're going to really relate to this and really find it quite endearing because you can recognize these aspects that maybe you don't see so much in yourself when you're just looking in a literal mirror, but when you see someone else doing it, you really recognize and find it so valuable and endearing. And I also get the sense that maybe something like eye gazing is going to be very important to you, and that when you look in each other's eyes, and especially when you get so close that you can see yourself reflected in their eyes, that it's just going to be a very impactful and like soul level connection with them. So I think that it's really important that when you next meet this person, or if you haven't met them yet, when you first meet them, to really focus on that presence and that eye contact. And not necessarily like staring them down in an intimidating way, but just looking at them the way that you would gaze into a mirror, of the sort of, just neutral looking at, like maybe the way you would look at a body of water, a shimmering lake. That's how you feel when you look into their eyes. Right, and maybe another note on how your next meeting is going to go, or your first meeting. Fish. So I get the sense that maybe you're going to have to put something out there as the bait, as the hook, in order to reel them in and have another encounter. Because I get the sense that maybe you're at the stage in your relationship where maybe you find it a little hard to sort of know how to make plans, and you don't really know exactly like when they're going to reach out to you, or like if you should reach out to them. So I think that what this card is telling you is that you need to find some sort of common ground, or maybe create a context where you could have a meeting, and if there's someone you already know, like ask for their support in something. So I think it could be a good idea to maybe have a project, an event, or a concern, and you're really looking to get their opinion on this, and you're really looking for their help. And I think that this was a great way to make a connection with someone and really have some sort of common ground to work on. So you're not just meeting and trying to have a conversation over nothing, but when you actually have some activity to work on together, I think that this will really expedite the growth of your relationship. Or if you already have a relationship together, maybe there's kind of this lull in it where you feel like you don't have much to say to each other anymore. So I get the sense that creating some sort of bait or hook that really gets them interested and lively about your relationship could be a great idea for you. All right, and maybe let's consider a little bit like what this person is looking for in a relationship. Tea. So I get the sense that this person is looking for something really warm, nourishing. They're not looking to be like playing these games of like drinking like the equivalent of drinking an orange soda where it's like bubbly and like overwhelming, sickeningly sweet and kind of like a artificial. They're looking for just the plain gentle flavor and complexity of a natural tea leaf, and it's the trials and tribulations that these tea leaves have gone through of this curing process that gives them such a depth of flavor and this subtleness, but also a sort of intensity. And I think that this is really what this person is looking for. They're not necessarily looking for anything so flashy or artificially designed, but they're really looking for the subtlety of experience and this patina that you've developed over time. And I think that they are really understanding of the things that you've been through, and I get the feeling that they're going to come to you with this extreme reverence for all of that, and that they really want to extract the best out of you, considering your past, your history, and your current personality. And I think that they will do what it takes in order to extract your best. Right, and then another card on what they're looking for, what they want from you. Token. So I get the sense that they're looking for someone who will be of use to them in life. And not just like a means to an end, but someone who will really provide value in their life in a meaningful way and in a way that they need filled. So maybe there's someone who needs some creative guidance, or maybe they need a specific skill for a project or like long-term project or business that they're developing. So I get the sense that this person is really looking for you and what you can do for them, and you and only you. So it's not like an interchangeable sort of universal bill, but it's a very specific token that has been designed for this purpose. And I think that's how they see you. So I think that it's important for you to play up your best qualities and really consider what makes you valuable and your individual unique personality. Because I think if you kind of go into this relationship of being this kind of wishy-washy people pleaser, kind of, oh, I'm good at anything, I could do anything, whatever's good with you, like, I think that they're really not liking that energy. I think what they really want to see from you is this confidence in who you are and what your best traits are, and really then they'll be able to see what you can bring into their life. All right, I think this is sounding good. I think that I get the sense that this is a very serious relationship. I mean, of course, there's maybe a little bit of a silly aspect to it as well, but I think that when it comes to where this is going for you, I think this is going to be a really valuable bond that's not just going to be brushed off easily. I think it's going to have some definite impact in your life. So, yeah, let's maybe ask about what impact that this relationship is going to have in your life. Shield. So I think that this relationship is going to build up your defenses in some way. So I think that there could be a context where you could face a difficulty in your life and it could really get to you. It could really strike at your core. But I get the sense that this relationship will prepare you for this trial in a way that you've been built up so much, perhaps in your confidence or your ability to deal with new situations, that when the situation occurs, you're actually going to be extraordinarily protected. So I think that in a sense that this person is going to be a little bit of a protector to you, and maybe in a literal sense in that they're physically there for you if you encounter some difficulty, but I think specifically more in a mental and emotional sense, in that this relationship is really strengthening you so that you don't have these vulnerable emotional reactions to things as easily anymore. I think that this relationship will really teach you to value yourself and your security. So this is not the type of relationship where you're constantly insecure and you don't really know what they want from you and you don't really know the direction of the relationship or where you stand with them. I get the sense that this is a relationship that makes you feel very secure and you really have nothing to worry about in this relationship about this person's feelings towards you. I get the sense that because they produce this feelings of security and confidence in you, that it makes you feel more secure about other things in your life. So I think this is great. There's really nothing for you to worry about. What else will this relationship do for you? Wig. Okay, so I get the sense again that this is kind of like a protective covering in some ways. So I feel like that this relationship will help you put on a little bit of an act to the world and allow you to be really vulnerable with this person. So I get the sense that maybe because you don't have this one person in your life, or maybe you haven't connected to them on this deeper level, that maybe you're kind of throwing things out there into the public domain, like kind of just really oversharing about your emotional difficulties with strangers or people on the internet. And I think that what this relationship is going to do for you, or like when you take this current relationship to the next level, I feel like you're going to be able to put on a wig and not feel the need to share this emotional vulnerability with strangers or people you don't know that well, because you're able to reach this really intimate level of discussing all your deepest fears, desires, and truths about yourself with this person. All right, and one more card on what this relationship is going to do for you. The butter knife. Okay, I think that this relationship might cut certain ties in yourself, certain attachments that you have, because I get the sense you're maybe clinging to certain things that don't really serve you. And I'm specifically thinking about things that might be insecurities. So maybe this could be something like a long-standing belief that you've had about your appearance, about what you can get from life because of your appearance. And then I think that this relationship is going to heal that wound, in that you're going to realize that your appearance doesn't determine how much you're loved. So I think that this is really great for you. And I think that this might relate to severing other ties as well. Perhaps if you have an unhealthy attachment to some sort of coping strategy or crutch that is maybe not serving you so well. So maybe it could relate to something like dating apps. It could relate to casual relationships, or perhaps pornography addiction, or, scrolling e-girls on Instagram or that sort of thing. I think that this relationship is going to be so impactful for you that you're actually going to want to sever those ties and realize that those things didn't serve you in life, and that you want to pour your energy into this person who is really being there for you in a way that these other things could never just fill that void or do any sort of beneficial emotional healing work for you. Whereas this relationship with this person is really like giving you so much purpose in life that you understand that those other things were just distractions. All right, so maybe let's ask about a tip on how to recognize this person when they cross your path, or spot this person out of the people you already know, or maybe how to pull out these good qualities in this person that you're already in a relationship with. All right, notebook. Okay, I think this is very relevant to the question, because I think it really relates to considering what this relationship is to you and what you want from it. And I think that it's really important for you to have a good sense of this by taking notes. So really you need to work out on pen and paper, not just in your head, what exactly it is that you want from a relationship, and what you want from your ideal partner, and who they're like. And not just on this kind of physical level of You know, maybe if you are a little bit addicted to dating apps or internet pornography, maybe you're thinking about these really surface level traits about like, you know, their hair color or, you know, some sort of subculture that they belong to or what they've studied in school. But I feel like this is encouraging you to go onto a deeper level and think about those traits that are really core to someone's being, about what their values are and what they want from life. And these are traits that you can really only see in a person when you have this really deep heart-to-heart conversation with them in person. So I think that by preparing thoroughly and knowing what traits you're looking for, it'll be easier when you have a conversation with them. But I think that this also emphasizes that you can really only spot these traits when you're meeting with this person in real life. And I think that in relation to someone you already know, I think that this could mean really reflecting on this person and really taking time to think about them. Because I feel like sometimes when we're in relationships, we can be a little bit self-centered in the sense that we're thinking about how this person can serve us, how they're thinking of us, and it's really, and like I said, it's just very self-centered. So I think that it could be beneficial for you to maybe try and get inside their head a little bit about what their emotional considerations are, what they're looking for in a relationship, and maybe like the things that would make them happy. And I think that this could really shift your mindset a little bit on things and make you understand that maybe you're not actually the problem if you're encountering any problems, but it's the fact that you think you're the problem is like what's creating the problems. That once you kind of accept that the relationship is an open space for you both to heal in your own way, in your own time, I think that you'll get so much more value out of the relationship and love that you share. All right. And maybe one more card on spotting this special person. Map. Okay, I think this relates a lot to the previous card as well. So I get the sense that you maybe need to have a really good sense of what you're looking for in life right now. Like, especially if you are someone who is actively dating, I think it's a really good idea to have a sense of what you want out of a relationship. And I think that this is maybe not looking so much about like long-term planning, because it can be a little difficult to have a first date with someone and then try and predict where you're going to be in 5 years. That doesn't really work too well. But maybe on a very practical level, in the near future, what you expect from this person and what you expect from the relationship and the things that you're able to make commitments for. And this is specifically about time commitments, so how often you see each other, the sort of things that you're doing, and maybe your availability as well. So maybe making it really clear to them how often you're available to talk and how often you want to talk with them, just so you can be on the same page about this sort of thing. Because I think that this can be in the very early stages of a relationship, or even much later in a relationship that's been established for years, just mismatched expectations. Because even though both people have a map of what a relationship is like or what it should be like in their heads, they're often not always that conscious of expressing exactly how these requirements could be filled for them, or expressing these expectations to their partner, because maybe they take it for granted that you have the exact same map in your head, when really it could be completely different. Alright, and maybe let's pull one final card, and I think that this card is really going to be about, like, what you need to do, the action that you need to do to either find this relationship or take it to the next level. 10. Okay, I think that this is a great card, because I think that this is really telling you that it's in your hands. It's completely in your control. So if you haven't met this person, I think that you are able to meet them. You shouldn't sit there helplessly thinking, I'm never going to meet this person, and you're kind of paralyzed in this inaction of maybe you're sitting in your room and isolating yourself because you're so sad that you're never going to meet this person, right? When in reality, you have the power to pen your own story and go out and find this person and write your relationship into existence. And I think that really what this card is telling you is that you just need to go out there and really find this person, this ideal person that you've formulated in your head, because they are out there. Out of the billions of people in the world, and out of the limited archetypes that people are able to embody, this person that you're looking for is out there. And they will have subtleties in their personality that you couldn't have even imagined, so you will be completely surprised by them in many ways. but at the same time, this person is out there for you. And when it comes to an existing relationship, I think that really what this card is trying to tell you is that, again, you are in control of the relationship. You know, it takes two to build a relationship, and it's both your equal efforts and commitment that are creating what it is. So I think that it's very possible to fall into this sort of powerless feeling about, this is just what married life is like. This is just what it's like being in a long-term relationship. This is just what it's like being in a heterosexual or homosexual or whatever relationship. Like, this is the framework that we have in our heads, and these are the issues we're going to encounter, and especially the dissatisfactions. But I think that really what this card is emphasizing to you is that you don't necessarily need to fall into these pitfalls that are just kind of common or historic, tragic sort of stories that play out over time. You could choose to play out a very different story in your relationship. And I think that what this is really telling you is to take those conscious actions in the moment to make sure that the relationship you're creating is something that aligns with the idea that you really have in your head, that you really want to create, and not just kind of falling into something that is built on your previous expectations or sort of things that you've inherited of what you think the relationship should be, but instead you're really focusing on what you want the relationship to be. Alright, so thank you so much for watching. I hope that this video was a little bit enjoyable or helpful for you. I think that love is such a beautiful thing, and I really encourage you to consider the ways that you can welcome love into your life every day. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.